Is it okay? Hello. You might be like, Soha, why do you look like shit? I don't know what to tell you. Soha, why is your camera on? I like looking at my face and I'm gonna look at this. So, um, what else? Oh yeah, Soha, why is your room a mess? What did you expect? Is my question. Anyways, okay, today I will be doing I will go over some of my microeconomic notes. This is, I'm gonna keep this public, but if anyone's watching this for microeconomics non-mathematical approach at UTSC, don't use this video. Don't use this video. It's not gonna be helpful. This is honestly purely for myself. Um, so disclaimer, all this content, like I'm reviewing my notes, there's nothing that I haven't written down. But the content isn't mine. It's the UTSC curriculum for MGEA 01. Wait, I should write that down. MGEA 01 at UTSC. And my professor was Michael Ho. So he's a really good professor. Anyways, yeah, this shouldn't be used for any sort of studying. Because this is purely for myself, and I'm gonna go through the second half of the semester chapters really briefly. Like I'm gonna skim through it basically, and I'm gonna only put what I think is important for the exam that is in 7 hours. Um, but yeah. Oh, and thank you to Naomi for letting me use your iPad for this because mine's cheeks. It's so cute. Look at all the look at the aliens page, the ORV. That's so cute. Okay. Anyways, okay. Oh, you know what? I didn't even open my notebook. But basically, I'm going to start with chapter 9. Okay, chapter 9 was about decision making. It was mostly, in the beginning, it was mostly theory, where it was like how people make decisions or whatever. Genuinely, to really summarize it, there's something called marginal benefit and marginal cost. Okay, marginal benefit is basically more on the consumers. Um, well, I guess they both have their own. Okay, let's start by writing this down. Okay, chapter 9/10. Chapter 10 is decision making. Whatever, doesn't matter. They're both put into the same one, so there's gonna be graphs later, and that's what I'm gonna be talking about later. Um, but basically, the idea is that firms use both. Oops, my mouse is in the way. Firms use both cost and benefit. Okay, and so for firms, whoopsie. Sorry, I'm kind of nervous. I don't normally record myself like this. Anyways, so for firms, they focus on revenue, which is basically marginal benefit. Marginal benefit, it's benefit. You're gonna think positively. For them, it's revenue. They're gonna think about profit. And I don't know. I guess when you talk about specific things, they have different names. But basically, when firms are talking about marginal benefit, they use MR, which is just means marginal revenue, but it just means revenue. Okay, and basically what they want to do is they want to bring in more money. So what they're gonna be focusing on is how to get is oops, wait, that should be an R. I'm gonna get that mixed up a lot, but they're all like the same thing, so it doesn't matter. They're gonna focus on making marginal cost, which is just cost, greater than marginal revenue, which is obviously that's how you make a profit. Stupid. Whatever. This is for myself. I already know it. Consumers, I don't know why they. Well, I guess I know why. They focus on marginal. I don't know why I decided to write it now. Marginal utility, which just means like satisfaction, which is also marginal benefit. So for this, you'll see MU instead of MB, but they're the same thing as just when you're talking about consumers. Um, and so for consumers, when they're talking about costs, yeah, it's MC, but it's also the price. because they're buying things, so it doesn't matter. Um, yeah. Oh, I guess I should say this because I don't know, but they're in the graphs from the previous midterm. But basically, the idea is that when marginal utility is larger than the price, it produces something called a consumer surplus, which is just like more satisfaction for the consumer. For the firms, when it's this whole thing, it is producer surplus. And that's all that matters to me. I really don't care. There is stuff when it's, you know what, it doesn't matter. It stops when both of these equal each other. So I'm gonna do it as this so that I can talk about it because they're both very similar. Um, Also, if you're for some reason watching this, you're not able to follow along, it's because you didn't take the course. Or I'm just explaining it in a way only I understand, because I understand the context, I'm not giving any context. Anyways, the consumer surplus and producer surplus, they stay true until it gets to the point where marginal cost equals to marginal benefit. Okay, after that, your marginal benefit or your marginal utility starts to diminish, and there's really not any point you would keep buying because anything after this point, your marginal utility is down. Doesn't matter. Um, in my notes, my professor said that a very common mistake is comparing sunk costs and fixed costs, or sorry, involving fixed costs and sunk costs. Sorry, I thought I heard something. Anyways, sunk costs are basically they're costs that no matter what you do after, they're gonna stay the same. Like it's you've already done it. You already paid for your flight or whatever. It's done. And so the exam and fixed costs are like you can't change like you can't change it, but you can do something like obviously like for example like wages are fixed or whatever, but if your whatever job is indexed, that'll change, but technically it's a fixed cost to you despite it being changed in the future. Just because I don't know how to explain it. Like some costs are like a one-time thing, you know what I mean? Fixed costs can technically change, but they tend to not for a long time. Anyway, so the example he gave was going on a vacation to Florida. Why? I don't know. Use the example of the ticket to Toronto to Florida already bought is $500, but there's a nice deal where if you go and like you can dance with some dolphins for like $800, and I guess that's a steal. I don't know what for it is. And the idea is like, oh, like why not do that or whatever? It's only $800 more dollars or $300 more dollars, however it's gonna go. The idea is that the plane tickets are bought no matter what, regardless of the dolphin price. That's the sunk cost, no matter what you do. There's no reason it shouldn't be in the decision making process because the plane tickets have already been bought. That's a sunk cost. That's whatever. Anyways, moving on. Um, so this is more theory stuff again. Like what I'm trying to focus on in the thing is actual like equations and stuff like that. I have a list of not all of them, but if you can see, like those are the tiny little like those are the graph types and these are the equations. Um, but basically he goes on to talk about behavioral economics and how economics is like rational behavior, but honestly there's obviously stuff that is quote unquote irrational. Um oh yeah. He says that rational behavior can be used to explain irrational behavior. So anyways, whatever. So there's something called the herd effect, which in my head it's like a bull or bear market in in like stocks and stuff like that, where like just because like a lot of people are doing something, it kind of creates this effect where everyone wants to like jump on the bandwagon and also do it. And so professionals don't do that. People who think they're smarter than they are do that. And honestly, like who isn't like that, man? I don't know. I'm not a stock guy. Um, and then he goes into see some seemingly irrational behavior, but it's pretty rational, like it's explainable or whatever. The first example is the probability of winning. What's it called? Winning the lottery. Um, and it's like, oh, like, ooh, sorry. He said the one he used was the probability of winning 649 or whatever. He said there's a probability of you winning. There's like a 1 in 14 million. So if you spent like $3 for that or whatever, you have to buy like it's $42 million, but you only win like less than that. So what's the point? And it's because people have a dream. Maybe those numbers, maybe the numbers will. What I'm going crazy, man. I'm so cooked for this exam. Anyways, um, the next one is. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna read these. I don't need to read these. Yeah. Okay. I just won't. Okay, anyways. And so now we get onto more about the marginal cost, marginal benefit, or MR, MC, or MU and P. Okay, so basically we use a graph to explain like a decision making and how much you want like it basically shows like a PPF graph, okay? So this thing is called a budget line graph. I'm not gonna genuinely not gonna use a ruler unless I need it, okay? So let's say this is y, let's say this is x. There's two goods, y and x, okay? Basically, when you have an income, okay, when you have an income, okay, how you spend it is x plus y. So if your income is 300 and let's say you buy one of each, this is gonna, hey, I don't know how to do math. Sorry. This is gonna be 200, this is gonna be 100. Let's say x, one of them is cost 200, one of y costs 100, okay? That's how that works. But then when you get into like multiple stuff, it becomes income equals the price of x plus the price of y. Because you need to know how much of x you're buying. And you need to know how much of y you're buying. Okay. Oh, but I did it wrong. That's just price times x. This is like the actual proper one. X plus y. This just says price of x. This says price of y. This is wrong because that means the variables are the same here. Whatever, as long as whoopsies. Anyways, so okay, let's not use my example because honestly, these numbers are too big for me. I don't like those numbers. Okay. Okay. So let's say the p of x is equal to 20, and the p of y is equal to 30. Is it 30? Nope, it's 50. Okay, it's equal to 50. Okay, and your income is still 300. We'll accept that. Okay, this graph basically shows, okay, if you were to spend all your money on y, it would be, oops, all your money is 300 divided by 50, which equals to 6. You would be able to get 6 of y. If you spend all your money on this, it would be 300 divided by 20, and that would give you 60. What the heck? 15. What am I talking about? Okay. And if you think about it here, okay. Oh, this is also called a budget line. I should say that for future me. I need to stop assuming I know things. I need to stop assuming I need to assume that I don't remember this stuff because it's not even written here, but whatever. Anyways, and then this in general is called a feasible consumption set. Feasible consumption set. I'm gonna abbreviate things a lot, so it doesn't matter, I guess. Whatever. That was if we want to find the relationship between x and y, okay? What we have to do, go back to grade 9 math and do the rise over run, which is the slope, okay? And so for this, so obviously slope is rise over run. And since for y you would be going down, and for that you would be going there, the rise would be, what's it called? -6 over 15, which I already have it written down. It's -0.4, which basically means for every unit of y you give up, you save $20, right? Hey, I may have did this wrong. Oops, okay, because I wrote it wrong in my thing. This basically means for every unit of X that you give up, you save $20, which will get you 0.4 amount of Y. That's basically all it's saying. I thought I'd write that anyways, because now we're getting a little bit more complicating. Actually, that wasn't complicating at all, but whatever. Anyways, okay, so now we're going on to X and Y. So now we're gonna look at, like, in terms of a consumer perspective, the benefit of buying how much more of X, how much more of Y. How do you kind of think of that? And so, or not, how do you kind of think it? How we graph it, okay? So when it comes to X, it comes to Y, right? Let's do this, okay? We're looking at marginal cost versus, oops, marginal benefit. Okay, don't worry, I'll write the proper things first. Okay, so we have the P of X and we have P of Y. Okay, and so because we're looking at this, we're looking at, I guess you could say, marginal utility. Okay, each of these products have their own satisfaction levels. If you like more of X, you're gonna have more satisfaction of X. So we're gonna call those MU, which is marginal utility. Oops, of P of X. I meant to put px, and this is going to be mu py. Okay, and so now we have a little graph. I actually don't know what this graph is called, but what is this graph called? um I don't know, but it basically, okay, here, let me do a little, okay, the graph looks like this. Okay, and it's gonna go down here, down here, and this is gonna be your X side, this is gonna be your Y. This is going to be mu x over p of, oh, is it mu x or is it mu, oh, oopsies. That's, oh, yeah, because why would you, am I stupid? Okay, that's a, whatever, at least I caught that now, because why would the price of x give you satisfaction? The product x would give you satisfaction over p of x. This is also, like, literally, this is the same thing as saying, MB over MC of X, of course. Anyways, and then on the other side we have MUY over PY. There we go. Okay. And so we're gonna do a little this, I'm gonna do a little that. This is gonna be MUX over P of X. This is gonna be MUY over PY. And it's sloping down like that because of the diminishing thing I told you about. Where as you buy, here, let me use a little. What's the pointer function? Is it? No, what the hell? Oh, it's this. Okay, this basically says, as you can see here, right? As you as you buy more of X, it's basically saying your marginal utility goes down. That's literally all. And the same thing for Y, but you want to kind of have them overlap so you can compare them. And that's why it looks like that. This is gonna be your little, let me put this all the way down here. This is gonna be your little, what's it called, like optimal point. This is gonna be the optimal place you want to be at because you're buying enough Y and X where you're happy with both, right? Um, but yeah, because this is your optimal X point. This is your optimal Y point. But I don't think you don't really need to write that. Anyways, um, okay, the thing is, I don't remember him exactly explaining in this word because you might be like, why is that the optimal point? What if I like more of X? The thing is that when you are leaning on one certain side, so let's say you're here, okay, and this is where you are with X, and you really like X, okay, you tend to lean you still move to the right. If you're on the left, you still move to the right. Because if X is giving you this much satisfaction, you want to buy more of X, which means you want to buy more of X and you want to buy less of Y. Remember that Y is here, Y gets bigger on this side, right? And so you're buying this much Y, you're buying not enough X. You're gonna want to move this way, okay? Because if you go this way, X increases, but Y decreases. So naturally, you're going to find that optimal point, and that's gonna be where this happens. And the same thing is for here. If you are buying not enough Y, but you want more Y, and you're buying too much X, or X and X isn't giving you as much satisfaction, you're gonna start leaning to the left if you're on the right. So it's like no matter what, like it's gonna be there. Uh, do I need to write that? No. Who cares? Okay, now you might be asking, you're not, but who cares? What if, um, what if the price of something goes up or down? Okay, what happens then is basically if the price of X, for example, goes down, there's two effects that can happen. Something called a substitution effect and income effect. Okay, as for substitution effect, what would happen is basically, okay, this one's gonna be even rougher than last time, so I'm not even gonna bother. I'm not even. Oh, what the heck? I'm not even gonna bother writing everything. Anyways, basically, what the heck? I looked away and it was gone. What the hell? Okay, basically, what happened, right, is that when the price of something goes when it's a substitution effect, okay, that means there's a substitute good. Okay, P and X, I mean P and X, Y and X are substitute goods, meaning people, if the price of X goes down, people are gonna buy more of X and less of Y, or not less of Y, but more of X. Okay, because they can sub it out. It's like how do I explain it? It's like different types of chocolate bars. It's like Hershey's chocolate bar and another like Cadbury chocolate bar. You know what I mean? Like they're both chocolate bars, but if the price of Cadbury's chocolate bar goes up, you're gonna buy more Hershey. You know what I mean? Or if the price of Hershey go down, you're gonna buy more Hershey, less whatever. And if that happens, you're gonna see this thing, for PX, you're just gonna go up, and there's gonna be a new equilibrium. Or I guess, oops, why did I do like that? Yeah, there's gonna be a new equilibrium where you're buying this much of X now because you can afford it, because P of X went down, and you're gonna be buying that much of Y. And then we get a little bit more, whatever. There's also, so the problem is that this isn't the only effect. There's There's also the income effect, which is a little bit harder to explain. It's such a ridiculous graph. Oh my god. Basically, the income effect has to do with elasticity now, okay? There's, you know what, maybe I will write this one down. There's Oh, let me actually write, what the hell? Okay, income effect. Okay, there's three different levels to this. Okay, normal. Oh, there's normal goods. There's income neutral, and then there's inferior goods. Oh my god. Hopefully this is catching my audio because literally like who the fuck is going to be able to read that? Anyways, for normal goods there's necessity and then there's luxury items, okay? And so this goes back to the elasticity formula. Don't think I need to remember this, but it's basically when change percentage change in X over percentage change in income. That's wrong. Is I believe it's no, I believe it's this much. Is equal to or more than one, and then for luxury it's this, this, when it's less than one. Okay, this being more elastic, I believe. Yeah, whatever. The more I think about this, I don't want to do it. It's this huge graph that really doesn't matter to me. It is. Do you see this? There's six. There's six. Two, three, four. Yeah. There's six outcomes to the income effect, and all of them lead to this. So what it's basically saying is that the more elastic something is, so the more, you know what, it doesn't matter. It's just that, because inferior goods, there's like different layers to it. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. This is, the problem is that this is all, whatever. It's gonna seem like I don't know anything. I swear I know it. Whatever. Anyways, okay. Chapter 11, cost, is where we run into more important things, in my opinion. This is where all start going downhill, you guys. Okay? Because this is where we start talking about short run and long-term periods, long run periods. So, in economics, there's time horizons, right? You can't just, you need to keep track of things, right? And basically, short run, the it's not really about the number of months. It's just that the firm or like whatever doesn't have much time to be able to make substantive like changes. Okay, which means okay, yeah. Let's write this out. A short run, okay? And so basically they don't have enough time, right? So there's two variables that we'll be talking about. It's labor and it's capital with a K, capital, okay? And so labor is easy to switch out. You can hire employees, you can fire, you can lay off a bunch of people, and this can happen really easily in a short amount of time. The problem comes to capital. This is physical capital, which is basically things like factories, like machines, like stuff that you need to actually like have a process for you. It takes time to build factories, right? Which is why this is a fixed cost. And that's what this little sign means, okay? That is not changing. That would be given to you. And so for long run, L and K, they're both variables because capital can change and stuff like that. I'm not worrying about that right now, okay? We're focused on short run. And so going with short run, okay, where there's a new graph introduced, okay? I think it's called a total product of labor graph, and it looks like this. There's this, and there's this. Money and labor, okay? Um, yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh, wait, no, not money. Oopsies. That's when we get to average cost, like SMC, like short run marginal cost and stuff like that. Whatever. Like the money, like the revenue, actual revenue stuff, okay? And so there's Q for your output and L for your labor, which is your input. Okay. And it looks like this. It looks like this because when you initially start like giving out workers or whatever, the actual like the actual output that you get isn't that big at first, and then it starts to go. But then once you get like when you have a fixed factory, right? Once you get past a certain point, now you have too many workers working on the same machine. It's no longer efficient. That's what this is, okay? And so, okay, yeah, I explained that. Okay. Anyways, so now to help us figure out like costs in the short run period or whatever, there's two measures to production, okay? I didn't mention this. It was mentioned in my notes, but production has an inverse relationship to cost. So basically, your output has an inverse relationship to your cost. Okay? And so the first one, wait, hold on. Let's do it down here. Okay. Two measures to production. Okay. One of them, okay, is called APL, which is what's it called? Average product of labor. Sorry, production? I think it's production. I don't know why I said product. I shorten everything to prod. Like production and product, but it's production. Okay. And the formula for that is your output divided by your labor. Okay. Easy, right? What it's basically saying is it tells us on average how many units of output each worker is doing. Okay. So for example, you can have what's it called? 300 outputs, which is like products or whatever. Why isn't this working? Okay. And then you can have, I don't know, 10 workers. And then the average of that obviously would be 30. You would end up with 30 units of output. Okay. The second one is MPL, which is marginal products of labor. Yeah, I did write products, yeah. Which is marginal products of labor. This is change in Q over change in L, I believe. Yes. And this basically tells us how much output each additional worker produces. So if you're adding 3 extra workers and your output increases by 90, that means each of those extra workers provided 30 more units of output. Okay. Okay. Now that that's done, we're gonna make this red, and we're gonna make this one blue. Okay. So first we're gonna go back to APL. Okay. Average product of labor. Okay. And we're gonna go back to our total product of labor curve or whatever. I'm gonna show you a little something. Okay. Honestly, it's like this genuinely, I don't see a point in describing it like this. Not that I don't, it's just that it's so I don't know why we have to spend 30 minutes on it, is what I'm saying. But I understand that my professor like wanted us to understand. And it worked. I mean, he's a great professor, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, so we're drawing our little thing. This is Q, our outputs. This is our inputs. I drew it so badly because it's not supposed to curve down like this again. It's supposed to be like half a bell. It's like what's it called? A cosine thing. That's what, yeah, whatever, who cares? Anyways, okay, basically what the point is for this one, I'm actually going to draw this one a little bit better because it looks like that maybe. Not supposed to curve at the end here. So the point of this is to find the max, because I really don't want to I don't want to do all the excess steps because like why should I care? You know what I mean? Um, which obviously I should care. Soho, why aren't you caring? What the heck? Oops. But this is for myself. I just want to record myself talk, I guess. Anyways, okay. It'll tell you to use slope again, okay? And obviously, because APL, the formula for APL looks like slope. Slope is rise over run, right? And if our rises are Q and our run is our thing, it would be Q over L. You know what I mean? And so what this, like, I don't understand. Like, it's saying, like, which one is higher. Like, it's saying to have this point be, oops, have this point be L1 and this point be L2 or whatever. And it says, which one is higher or smaller? Draw a straight line from the origin to go through point L1 and Q1. Truly, why does this matter? Okay. Because what it's trying to say is when you have, like, because the point is that this is the max APL. This is where you want to be. This is max APL, okay? Because when you go down from here, your average production starts going down. Okay, once again, too many workers per machine. Okay, and then it goes on to say, so for I'm gonna draw that one more time, because you can draw this graph technically in two ways to like kind of visualize something else. So the point is like before it starts going down, whatever. We're gonna draw it like this, okay? Let's say it's like this, and this is L1, okay? Oh, I made this too big. Okay. What the heck? What the frick? What? No. What the hell? Okay. Whatever. I will say, like, I remember this pretty well, so I might just keep going onward. Yeah, I should probably manage my time a little bit better. Should I just even be doing this at all? I should. I should take my time. I need to calm down. I have 5 hours. I need to calm down. Let's let's write everything. Okay. Um okay. We are gonna draw that graph, okay? Oh, I suck at drawing this one. Okay. This is gonna be our no. This is gonna be our max APL. Okay. Quantity labor. Okay. When you draw this, you can visualize it in a slightly different way. Okay, that kind of tells you what's going on. Okay, in a different graph. Okay, basically, when you start going up here, okay, your thing starts to increase. Your APL starts to increase. Okay, and when it reaches a certain point, which is your max APL, it starts going down. And this is your APL. Now there's two ways to draw it. Wow. And the axis for this is APL and labor. So when you increase your labor at a certain point, which is the max APL point, your APL increases and it goes down. I'm going to start saying the actual words. So average product of labor starts increasing, but then once you reach your max average product of labor, it starts going back down. Okay? And then we're gonna do it's really similar for what's called MPL. Um which we'll do that. Can I not? Okay. I'll do that right here. Okay, so, oh, actually, no, no, no. Once again, I need to calm down. Okay, now we're gonna do another total product for labor curve. If I can do this, I do it better on paper. Um, okay, anyways. So when we're looking at our MPL, okay, which is marginal product of labor, okay, what we're looking for is something called a point of inflection, okay, because it's in the beginning. Let me use this. In the beginning of a curve, okay, what it basically tells you, it's a lot flatter, and that's because you like, how do I say this? How do I explain this? If I understand, I should be able to explain it, right? When you're at the beginning of the curve, it's a little bit flatter, and that's because you're underutilizing your production. Okay, this is an underutilization that happens with less efficiency. Okay, when you start going too steep, that's an like what's the term I use? Um, is it overutilization? I don't know. Basically, the steeper, like steep, okay? So not going down, but steep. The steeper your your little line thing is, okay, the better utilization. And that's basically trying to tell you that your point of what's it called? Interception? Infliction. Oopsies. Your point of infliction is there. Okay. We're gonna go back to doing the other type of graph, which is the MPL graph. Okay. And this is labor. You can do the same thing where as this goes up, okay, as this goes up, your MPL increases. Once it reaches the point of inflection, it starts to go down. Really similar. It looks the exact same, right? So this is the MPL curve. I don't have to write curve, but that's fine. Anyways, you might be like, okay, well, how do I put both of them into a graph, right? Basically, we're gonna start off with our TPL curve, our total production of labor curve. Okay. I'll label it this time. This is Q. This is L. Okay. Once again, the max APL, it's always at this like point where it starts to basically turn in. Okay. This is max APL. Okay, and you basically find that's the high, the most or whatever. Once again, because when you go from the origin, if your point was down here, it would be like this. It'd be like that. But and it if your point was here, it goes like this, and if your point was all the way over here, it would go like that. Like if it starts curving downward, it would go like that. You know what I mean? All the way over there, I mean at the very top, okay? And then your what is it called? Your point of inflection. Yeah, your point of inflection will be here. This is basically your max MPL. I think of it like that just because it's a little bit easier for me. It really does not matter, okay? And what this will show you, okay? You have your MPL and APL graph. I wrote it really badly, but it doesn't matter, okay? We go like this, okay? This is, oopsies, this is your LM. I don't know why I wrote it down there, but it doesn't really matter. This is gonna be your LA for APL. That's what it stands for, okay? This, okay, because this brings us to the relationship between APL and MPL. When EPL is greater than the average, it'll raise the average. So when MPL is greater than APL, it increases. We'll just call it A for now, okay? When MPL is equal to APL, APL just stays the same. Average product of labor just stays as it is. When MPL is less than APL, naturally it starts to decrease, okay? And the reason why I'm saying this is because let's start off with MPL, okay? As it goes up, it reaches the point of inflection, it goes up and then it keeps going down, okay? For LM, okay, it'll go like this. Oops, did I do that too much? No, I don't. Okay. Oh, I did that so badly. Look like this. This is APL. This is MPL. Okay. As it reaches its max APL, it starts to go down after. Okay. So you can see here that when APL is above, when MPL is above APL, APL is increasing. Okay, and it stays true until MPL is equal to APL. And then once MPL is lesser than APL, that's when APL starts going down. And you can think of it, my teacher used this example, which I think I should have said earlier. And it's basically like houses, okay? Because there's in this neighborhood, there's two houses. One of them is $1 million, the other one's $3 million, okay? And so those are their MPLs. As is, those are their MPLs, okay? And so their APL would be obviously the average of both. So it would be 3 plus 1 divided by 2, which is 4. Whoa, which is 4 divided by 2, which is 2. So on average, they're both $2 million, okay? That being said, when another house comes along, okay, and it's worth more than the other two, it's worth $4 million, okay? That's its MPL. It then you do then to find the average, obviously you do 3 plus 1 plus 4, which is 8. 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Now the overall average APL or whatever is $4 million. It went up. That's basically how you explain it. Okay. Okay. Now we are burdened with the task of proving that productivity and cost are have an inverse relationship, okay? And to do that, you look at your total cost, okay? So I'm going to write it like this. Your total cost, okay? And then is equal to how much oh, I was like, what the hell? How much labor it has, okay? Plus how much K costs, okay? And so, you know what? We'll get there, okay? You might be like, oh, why is there no line over K? I'll get there, okay? This is going to be shortened to TC, which equals to the price of wages times the number of inputs. Yeah. So like how much your wages cost if everyone is working for I don't know $100 and there's 10 people, obviously this would equal to 1,000 plus I think it would be RK. And R is basically the price not the price of capital. It is the price of capital, but it's like it can either be interest rate or something else. Oh, no, yeah, it is interest rate. There's another one, but the main one that is thought of is interest rate. Okay, so how much the firm borrowed to uh make the factory, for example. And because we're in short run, we're doing short run period for all this. It is now put into STC. Scarborough Town Center. Anyways, STC, okay? this stays the same because obviously this also stays the same, except this capital amount, how much it actually is, how much the actual physical capital cost is fixed. Um, but yeah. Okay, here's where things get really annoying. Okay, this is number one. Okay, the problem is that SCC, or short run total cost, these also have different what's it called, terms for them. So this could be variable costs because it actually does change, and this would be fixed costs. Okay, these two completely interchangeable. It doesn't matter. Okay, now we're gonna have some. Now that's where it gets a little genuinely. This pisses me off. Okay, we're gonna go over something called average variable cost. Okay, which is ABC. Okay, and that's basically equal to your variable cost divided by your output, divided by your quantity. Okay, so this basically is like your variable cost per unit of output. Okay, which, if you can tell, if once again these are interchangeable, right? So VC, like I said, is also WL. Okay, so these two. Let me change the color of this. These two, same thing, right? Now, does this look familiar? I sure hope it does, because wait, did I not go over that? Yes, I did. I sure hope it does. It looks a little bit familiar, doesn't it? Okay. Because this makes me so mad. Okay, whatever, okay. So, in order to get what we want, okay, we divide both sides by L. Okay, because obviously, oh, because it doesn't change anything. You're just switching around the fractions, okay? Which then leads. Oh my god, wait! I skipped ahead. Oh my god, I was looking. Oopsies! Okay, ignore what I said because that will come up. That does look familiar, okay? When you do that, W is isolated, so your wages are isolated, but then you're left with Q divided by L. That's what looks familiar, okay? And then you can also shorten that to W over APL. Okay, this is what is important. Therefore, AVC equals to W over APL. So okay, so the equations we have so far, okay, is total cost is equal to wages times labor plus like interest rate times capital, okay, which is also equal to, within the short run, okay, SCC is equal to VC, which is variable cost, plus FC, okay. With that, okay, comes something called average variable cost, okay. An average variable cost is variable cost divided by your quantity, your output, okay. Variable cost is also synonymous with wages times labor, okay. Wages times labor, okay, over output. When you divide both the top and bottom by L, you get W over Q divided by L, and Q divided by L is the same thing as APL, which is why AVC is equal to wages over average product of labor, okay? And there's more, because of course there's more, okay? Because now, if you can do it with APL, you're going to be able to do it with marginal product of labor, okay? So for this one, I should really keep all of them. I'll put all of them together in a second. Okay. And so for this one, we're going back to SCC equals to VC plus FC. But then you can, the same thing, when you do something to one side, you can do it to the other, right? So the change in SCC is equal to change in VC plus change in FC. I will say no that this doesn't really, this makes me so mad. Because literally, why? Like, you just have to know it conceptually, and literally just why. Well, okay, don't answer that. If you're like watching this, you're like, Soho, you're stupid, you need to pay attention to class. I'm on like 4 hours of sleep, man. I've been up since like 3 a.m. Like, I really don't care anymore, okay? You divide everything by changing quantity, okay? You're gonna see where we're going with this, because obviously I was like, oh boy, MPO. This, by the way, does not change. Okay, equals either does not change. It's a fixed cost. It does not change, okay? Okay, and you'll notice, okay? Change in VC is the same thing as change in WL, whatever. You can do the same thing for this. Divide both by, oops, whatever. Divide both by L. Divide both by L. Oh, oopsies. I meant divide both by change in L. Sorry. Because in my notes I write it like that because it's easier, but I'm pretty sure the professor, or maybe it was me, did it like that. But whatever, okay? Now you have W over change in output divided by change in labor, which looks like MPL. Therefore, and because we're in, so why did I do it like that? This shouldn't have, thing. Like how we did with the AVC and it just came out of nowhere. This one's called SMC, which has short run marginal cost. Okay. Therefore, short run marginal cost is equal to W over MPL. Okay, wages over marginal product of labor. Okay, and you might be, which, by the way, I just want to say wages is given. I don't know why. In my notes it says given. There's a little thing pointing to it saying given. Yes, it's given. Okay. I don't know why. This is starting to PMO me. I'm not even gonna lie. Cause now we're gonna graph it. Okay. It looks like the other TPL with total productive labor curve with APL and MPL, not total productive labor curve. The MPL curve and APL curve, when you put them in a graph, it looks like that but flipped. And I will show you in a second. Okay. So we have two graphs. Okay. We're just gonna do it like this. We're gonna, okay, short and easy. This is gonna be MPL. This is gonna be APL. We're going down here. This is L. This is APL and MPL. Do a comma. Keep going down. Keep going down. Okay. And now this is, what is this? This is, now we're talking about money. This is what I mistook it for in the beginning. Okay, because we're talking about costs. We're talking about SCCs and ABCs. Okay. Is that what I said earlier? I meant SMC. I don't know why I said AVC. Sorry. I did say SMC. Okay. Basically, they're both going to hit this point. Okay, this is hitting that point, and this is hitting that point. What I say looks like... looks like it. This is SMC. This is ABC. Okay. Because they have an inverse relationship. I don't know why. Whatever. Okay. I said I would put all the equations together. Let's do it, okay? Total cost equals to wages times labor plus interest rates, interest rates times capital. Okay. Now when we look at short run, we're gonna go do short run total cost is equal to wages times labor plus interest with fixed cost of capital. Okay. From this, this this also equals to variable cost plus fixed cost. Okay. From this, okay, we get AVC, average variable cost, which is equal to basically this. Okay. And then when we look at APL, okay. Oh, actually, I should have done it a little bit differently. do it like this. APL, okay? Look at that, okay? APL is equal to quantity over labor, okay? I'm just gonna put this out to like keep it in mind because do we actually really need to know this? I have no idea. I'm gonna do a practice quiz at the end of this, and it's gonna be completely based off my notes, so it's just gonna be a lot of silence. Like I'm not even. We're already an hour into this, and I'm still. I've done one chapter. You know what I mean? Whatever. Who cares? Okay. Yeah, whatever. Okay. And that's because originally, okay, it was variable cost over Q, which also meant WL over Q. And usually we just divided both things by L to get that, okay? To get APL, which then equals to W over Q divided by L, which equals to, oops, which equals to W over APL. That's how we got there, okay? On the same note, we have short run marginal cost, okay? Which is wages over MPL. Okay. As a reminder, MPL is equal to change in output over change in input, which is labor. Okay. And we got this because it was change in variable cost over change in quantity because we made everything into change-ins, and we multiplied everything by variable cost by quantity, which is also equal to change wages times change in labor over change in Q. Divide both things by change in labor, and that gives us W over change in Q over change in L, which is also equal to W over MPL. That's how we got there. Okay. And there's more to this. I don't know why I ever thought it would like ever stop. Okay. So I'm gonna keep this as this. Okay, we're gonna go back to that. Yeah, we're gonna do this. Okay. We're gonna go back to that. But first we're gonna go back to STC. Okay, Scarborough Town Center, short run total cost. Okay. Like I said, this is equal to VC plus FC, which is variable cost plus uh, fixed cost. Okay. Now, for some reason, we're gonna divide everything by only Q this time, not changing Q. And this gives us changing Q gives us something. Sorry, not change Q. Divided by Q gives us something called SAC, which is short run average cost. Okay, we had. Doesn't even matter. Short run average cost. Okay. When we do this gives us average cost. Okay, this VC divided by Q gives us average cost. This one gives us average fixed cost. Okay. So we're gonna work. Man, this is such BS. I'm not even gonna lie, this is such BS. Whatever. Okay. Um. And so what AFC? AFC? Yeah. Okay. I don't know why this has to be important, but AFC looks like this. Okay. And it never touches. He really made an emphasis on the fact that like this never reaches zero. It's like a 1 over x graph or whatever. Um, why don't I don't? Oh my god, I feel sad that I don't remember what that's called. Anyways, and it's because you can keep. It doesn't matter. Just know that it never touches there. And he said that's a mistake that people often make, and I'm not gonna make that mistake. Okay, now we have to plot average fixed cost and short run average cost. Okay. To do that, we're also gonna include. Okay, because we plotted average. like I said, we plotted average variable cost over here, okay? We plotted SMC here, short, um, what the fuck is it called? Short run marginal cost. There we go. Okay. And so when we zoom that in, okay, so this is what it looks like when we zoom this part in. I'm actually gonna go and point that out. This is what it looks like when we zoom this part right here. It's where like here. Okay. Not even, maybe like more towards here. And like even further to say it's like here. Okay. I will show you what I mean by that, okay? Okay, so we start off with our graph, okay? This is gonna be money. This is gonna be quant quantity. Okay. Short run marginal cost is gonna look like this. Hold on. Like a swoop. SMC, okay? Average variable cost is gonna look like this. This is gonna be ABC. Okay. SAC, once again, it's really similar to ABC, right? So it's gonna look like this, but it's gonna start getting closer to thing. This is gonna be S short run average cost. Okay. So we have average variable cost, we have short run average cost. And this gap right here is gonna be equal to average fixed cost. Okay, no matter where you go. Okay, it's gonna be here. Then we okay. So let's write down our new little formulas, okay? We're gonna go back here. Okay. We're gonna go here and it's gonna be so now we already have ABC. We don't have AFC and we don't have SAC. But that doesn't matter, okay? Did I do the okay. Let me do a little arrow pointing how we got that. So then let's do another one here. SEC equals to BC equals to plus FC. Divide all of them by Q, divide by Q, divide by Q. And that's when you get SAC equals to ABC. Because, like I said, ABC, right there, right? Plus AFC. Perfect. Wow, wow. My hands are shaking, probably from dehydration. Because now we go into long run. I'm honestly not about that. Genuinely, I've been debating just skipping all of like long run. I honestly just don't care enough. Because long run and short run, they look very similar. But there are a couple of things about it. Because if SAC looks like this little swoop thing, the it's basically like a that. LAC also looks like that. Long term average variable average cost, not average variable, also looks like that. And honestly, I can't care less to talk about it. So what does this say? Economies of scale? Oh, it's basically saying, sorry, diseconomies of scale. It's basically saying at one point, it doesn't matter. At one point, the factories are too big. Um, okay. Now we're going on to chapter 12. I will say in this one, I'm going to draw a few little graphs. Um, just because, like, as a reminder, okay? This one is going to be a TPL, total product of labor, and this is going to be Q, this is going to be L. This is going to be um, what's it called? Point of infliction. Point of infliction. And this is going to be max APL. Then when we get here, oh, hello. Okay, we go down this way. This is going to be LM. And this is going to be LA. And we keep going down this way. Okay, I thought it died. Oh, I got a little scared. Keep going this way, and we keep going this way. We then get... I don't know why I did that. Let's do it like this. This is APL, oh, MPL. This is labor. This is APL, comma, MPL. And this gives you your MPL and APL curves. Is there anything else I need to do with that? No, not really. Anyways, and then that gives us our, what is this, quantity? Yeah. This gives us our AVC and SMC. So keep going like this. Keep going like this. This is going to give us our short run marginal cost. This is going to give us our average variable. Is it variable or is it average cost? Whatever, it doesn't matter anymore. I've given up. I couldn't tell. Yeah, whatever. But yeah. Anyways, which then brings us to another graph where we include our short run average cost. Okay. And I'm just gonna highlight this little like area because this is our SMC, this is our AVC. Do anything with that? I do not remember. Probably later on. This is out of money, and this is out of quantity again. And then we have our, what was this? Short run average cost. Oopsies. Short run average cost. And this is in between here is our average fixed cost. Okay. Okay, because we're moving on to a different chapter. Okay. This one, I'm gonna talk first because there's a lot to talk about, but I'm just talking for the sake of talking, and probably this really isn't gonna help. Probably. We're going on to chapter 12, which is perfect competition. Whatever, I got lazy with writing, okay? Basically, this is where there's an abundance of sellers and buyers. None of them have market power. Okay, they're all price takers, which means their change in price is very elastic because they're taking whatever the market price is. Okay, the market price changes, they change. So their D curve is like horizontal. Okay, which is like whatever. Okay, buyers care about their well-being. Sellers care about their profit, as always. Okay. Um, this is on top of the fact that like all the products that buyers are buying and sellers are selling, they're identical, okay? Which, for example, like brown eggs. Brown eggs are the same no matter where you go, they're brown eggs. You know what I mean? And then there's like buyers won't be fooled by sellers, and sellers always like know the best and like least costly way of producing things and like what to buy, okay? They have, yeah. It also makes it really easy for businesses to enter the market and exit or whatever. Like if you enter your profit, you're gonna have a profit. Profit is used. I don't know why it's like a flat pi sign. Okay. What's it called? The profit. If you leave, you're not gonna lose profit. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Obviously, if you exit, this is not repercussions, okay? But this isn't realistic at all. For example, with the like, oh, like all the items all the products are similar or whatever. Like, there's places that have geographical advantages. If there's a Walmart closer to you, you're not gonna go to a Metro that's farther away. Okay, this is where more formulas come in because a perfect competition is a benchmark for efficiency. Okay, and so this gives us a few formulas, which is pi, not pi. I keep saying pi, but it's actually profit. Profit equals to total revenue minus total costs. This is from what we just did. Previous chapters. Previously, chapter 11. Okay. And generally speaking, that's what this is. Okay. They do this whole thing. I don't know if we need to know this. Okay. I will put it in color anyways, but do we need to or whatever? Probably. Price is equal to marginal revenue. Okay. And we're talking about whatever. Okay, you'll see what I mean. Which is also equal to change in total revenue over change in quantity. Okay. Total revenue, where is this? Total revenue is equal to price times quantity. You're gonna notice a little theme here. It's whatever. Average average revenue is equal to total revenue over quantity, which is also equal to price. Everything, why'd I do that? Everything equals each other, man. Genuinely. Because then this, like, that means, like, this is what I'm, like, a little bit confused on, okay? Because this also means that your average revenue is also your marginal revenue. And I don't know why, but that just doesn't sit right with me. But whatever, okay? Because we're going back to our short run marginal cost curve, okay? In which it looked like that, like here. Let me write going back to. Going back to da 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 da. Okay, we're going here. I'm going here. We have money. We have quantity, I believe. Nope, it's labor. Right? Let me just make sure. Why'd we do this now? Oh. Okay, now which one's right? I don't know. Short run marginal cost, money over labor? No, that does make sense. So why did I do Q? Oh, that was just a complete accident. No. I'm gonna assume it's supposed to be L, but I don't even know. Let me look at the photos on my phone of the class. What was... I feel bad. Props to Insoft, man. I really appreciate her trying to... Oh my god. I was tweaking out so much about this, and I just... She makes me feel better. Okay, I think this was maybe... Let's see. Oh 06. Yeah, market structure 06. 11. 6 of November. Oh, wait, no. Okay, that means it's the 23rd of October. Okay, let's look here. EPO, that's correct. MPO, yeah, they're both over labor. TPO's also labor, yeah. Don't care too much about this. No, I was right about this. This is quantity. Doubt myself. I see. This is also quantity. I don't know why. Um, I don't know why I keep doubting myself, man. Okay. But I guess now my question is, when we're looking at just SMC, is it really just labor? Labor? Shouldn't that be quantity though? Yeah, it should be quantity. Okay, I need to trust my own diagrams. It should be quantity, whatever. At least I caught that, I guess. This is gonna be your SMC, okay? We're gonna go back to, okay, because marginal, we're also gonna have a price. So this is gonna be a price, which is also equal to marginal revenue, okay? We're gonna do a little, all that, okay? We make our little point. You go down here. This is gonna be called, no, that's just gonna be Q. Doesn't matter anymore. It's gonna be Q, okay? Where this is where marginal revenue is equal to basically marginal cost, okay? What this is saying, basically, let's say for some reason you're here, okay? What it's saying is that you're missing out because all of this can be profit. That whole thing is profitable. That's all it's saying. Honestly, I feel like I shouldn't even be recording. I should just look over my notes. Because I think I absorb things better that way. I think I'm focusing on the wrong thing. I need to practice doing some graphs. There's more. I think I need to. Yeah, I'm gonna upload this video. It's just gonna be like nothing. I'm gonna upload it anyways. It's gonna be labeled Soha wasting her time 5 hours before her exam for her MGEA 01 thing. Because honestly, if I wasn't so tired, I would be really down for this. And maybe I should do similar, but with, I don't know. Okay, you know what? Okay, change your plans. Let's look at some questions. Let's look at some thing questions. Except I don't have it downloaded on here, so I will download it. Let's do some practice questions together. It's not even practice questions. It's like someone sent me the previous year's. Open this file in Chrome. I do not want to open it anywhere else. Oh, you know what I should go over actually? I should go over the last two ones, like oligopoly and the other one. Wow, what? This is like, cause this is what I haven't even gone to like monopolies or anything. Did I? No, I didn't. That's what this is for. This is for chapter 12 is about monopoly. No, chapter 12 is about perfect competition. What am I talking about? This is a monopoly. Okay. Change of plans. I'm just gonna sit here and write word for word what is on one of my notes. Because I don't think doing that will help. I think I just need to genuinely hard memorize certain things. I have practice questions right here. With the answers, unfortunately, but whatever. Because this is a lot. This is a lot. But let's start with this, okay? So a typical okay, so this is about monopolistic firms. Okay. Why am I looking? So I wrote basically the most bare bones of what I would need to remember for monopolies. Okay? And it's that total revenue is equal to P times Q. Price times your quantity. Okay? A change okay. Using that, you derive chapter you can genuinely like I feel like this just isn't helping, but whatever. Chapter 13 Monopoly. Okay. So like the idea was I wanted to basically teach myself, but the fact that I already know I should work on more active recall than actually teaching myself, which obviously would mean also I don't look at anything, but then I would be wasting time with recording. So I'm gonna do that after. I'm just gonna whatever. Okay. Total revenue is equal to P times Q. Okay. When you turn that into change in TR is equal to change. It's gonna turn into like this. It's gonna be Q times change in P times P times change in Q. Basically, it'll look like that, and that's because when price changes, Q doesn't, and when Q changes, price doesn't. Okay. Which then, if you divide everything by change in Q, change in Q, change in Q, you're left with this. I don't know why, but this is marginal revenue. Okay, you're left with marginal revenue, and you're left with. I guess it doesn't matter. Should I? Okay, whatever. These two cross out. This stays the same. That stays the same. So it would be Q times change in P over change in Q times P. Is it times or is it plus? Oopsies, I meant it's plus. Wait, why would it be plus? Why would total revenue equal price plus quantity? I don't know. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I feel like, oh my god, this is like actually so, oh my god, you're gonna see my ugly ass nails. Anyways, I feel like this is like, this feels redundant. You know what I mean? Like, I know what the graph looks like. It's gonna look like this. It's gonna look like, here, let me do a little, okay. It's gonna be money over quantity, because now we're looking at actual full market, so it's gonna be big Q. And it's gonna be This is D, and whatever, because of the formula, this is going to be MR. The formula for a D curve is, I believe it's P equals to A minus BQ. And so for MR, that's what I was trying to get at above, but it's basically P equals to A minus 2BQ. Okay. Why? Honestly, I really can't be bothered. I'm not even gonna like it. This is like, I feel like I've given up. You know what I mean? And it's not to say I haven't studied. It feels like I haven't, but like I have. Like, I don't know why. Yeah. I think my goal is I'm gonna turn off the camera first. Like, I'm gonna stop this dilly-dallying nonsense. And I'm gonna write down all the formulas, write down all the graphs, and just dead set memorize that and move on with it. Like, I understand, like, I've, for the most part, if I'm like not overestimating my capabilities, I understand the process of these graphs. Um, maybe I should just try one of the practice questions first. Maybe let me try one of the practice questions because it's we're going to the problem Q3 from chapter 15. Chapter 15 is which one? Oligopoly? Yeah, chapter 13. Like, my problem is chapter 15 is the one I didn't study as much. But the practice questions are all chapter 14, 15, and 8. Because that's the order we win them in. So I think I need to get my priorities straight. But honestly, like, apparently, like, let me do Greek calculator, I'm not even gonna lie. Let me use Safari because she isn't. Oh, that's mine in Insol's face. Anyways, I hope you don't use Safari. Okay, yeah. Grade calculator. Okay, let's do this. On what did I get? I think it was a 91.05 or something like that for for all of my quizzes. I think it's a little bit more because he's gonna get rid of like the bottom three, but or something like that. But whatever. And then I got 66.6 sorry. Um on my midterm. Yeah, bad, I know. Whatever, don't talk to me about it. Um and then for the final exam it's worth 45%. Okay. Let's say I'm pretty sure if I get a 20, I'll still be passing. Yeah. If I get 20, my grade find additional grade you need to get. What does that mean? Whatever. My grade would be a 50, okay? If somehow I get a 50, my grade would be a 64. Okay, truly, there's 60 multiple choice and 60, there's not 60 multiple choice, there's 30 multiple choice. And there's two in-class graph, like in-class thing questions. One of them I think is going to be absolute and comparative advantage. The other one I think, well, I was gonna hope it would be the golden rule for monopolistic things. Because that has to do with average cost, marginal cost, like the MR line that's like half of the D curve and stuff like that. Um, there's no way I'm gonna get less than 20 marks. That would mean I would have to get only 10 multiple choice questions, right? There's no way, right? Hope not. It's 20. Okay, let me see if I get 19. Oh, I could get a 19. Okay. What about point 0.5? 0.8. The lowest I can get is an 18.8. I will, yeah, I don't know, I'm so cooked. I think I need to calm down because I'm very anxious right now and I can't think when I'm anxious. I don't know if that was evident or not. I really just don't think when I'm anxious. Uh, and so I'm gonna eat something because I guess I stress eat. I don't know. I didn't know I had that nervous quirk. This was completely useless. Truly. I I don't know what I think I was doing because this is just rant time. Okay. I truly don't know what I thought I was doing with this. And honestly, I think if I was better prepared, it really would have helped. I'm really grateful for Naomi for letting me borrow her iPad for a day despite her using it like every day. Um but yeah. I don't know what I did wrong. I started studying, but I guess like me procrastinating studying this was studying for my other exam, which like sorry for having another exam, man. Stupid ass oral exams. Actually, no, the oral exams are fine. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I think I'm gonna eat a hot dog sandwich thing. I already ate. That's the part. Like, I'm just stressing at this point. Like, I felt like throwing up earlier. I've been eating like shit. Like, I don't know who I think I am. Um, yeah, I don't know. But I'm gonna eat. No, I'm gonna do a little frowny face. This isn't me. Okay. Big ears, big forehead. My hair is like this right now. Oh, where'd it go? Ah. Um, I have hella eye bags. Wow, this just looks like an old lady. Big off forehead. Um, Stupid hoodie. Says Chisholm on it. Yeah. Okay. Um, maybe I'll update this, but I truly don't believe in myself. Let me just. I'm beyond cooked. It is actually crazy how cooked I am. I'm gonna start studying at around 2:15 again, and I'll have basically 4 hours to finish whatever studying, whatever revising I'm gonna be doing. And hopefully I actually do that and I do okay and I get better than a 20%. Um, yeah. One person in Soft was like assume the worst and you'll I don't know, like aim for like passing or whatever and then you'll if it doesn't work out like it's sorry, like that's the lowest you can do. You know what I mean? Like there's no way it won't work out kind of thing. Um, and then another person was like you shouldn't be aiming for like the bare minimum or whatever. You should be aiming for better. And I'm like, yeah, I should be, but literally, like, what can you do when you're not optimistic at all? But, okay, that is all for me. I will genuinely, this was useless. 1 hour and 40 minutes of my life on nothing. Um, I will, I don't know, maybe I'll update this in the comments or something like that or in the description, but I'm gonna stop this video and I'm gonna let it upload. Okay. Okay, bye.